When a series is large enough, it's bound to have many collaborations, and the Sonic the Hedgehog series is no outlier. But the collaborations of this franchise are a weird case, because Sega's weird. Like, really weird. These collaborations can range from Honey Nut Cheerios of Sega Game Tips to Hooters. Yes, Hooters. That restaurant. Today I want to look at some of my favorite Sonic collaborations for other pieces of media or brands and show you just how weird they can get. Most of the earliest commercials that Sonic appeared in outside of the games that I could find much information on were just the run-of-the-mill ads. Just some short 30-second long commercials that are usually made to market some kind of food product. And you know every fictional character needs to collaborate with some kind of cereal at some point. Which is why in 1994 we got the Sonic and Honey Nut Cheerios tie-in. This wasn't anything special like the Cheerios are shaped like Sonic's head or anything, but just something about this is kind of funny to me. I think the idea of Sonic meeting the Honey Nut Cheerios bee, what's his name?
What the is the Honey Nut Cheerios bee?
Buzz Bee. I think the idea of Sonic meeting Buzz Bee is really funny. The special Cheerios box made for this kind of gives me the same vibes as that one image of Sonic and Mega Man shaking hands. That image is hard, by the way. If you don't have that framed on your wall, what are you doing? On the back of the box featuring Sonic the Hedgehog, we got some Sega game tips. I like to imagine people getting stuck in some games and quickly going to the store to see if they can find some Sega game tips on the back of their Cheerios. But anyway, the Honey Nut Cheerios collaboration wasn't harmful to anyone, which makes it not interesting. But do you know what was harmful to someone? McDonald's. Who would have guessed? In 1994, for the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Sega partnered up with McDonald's to make the Sonic Happy Meal toys. You might say, well, McDonald's does these partnerships all the time with big series, but this was different because it was the first time to my knowledge that they ever partnered with a video game character. And McDonald's is huge, which allowed for so much traffic to come to Sonic 3, which then caused them to have to split the game in half. They had to split it in half because it was much larger than they originally expected, but they had a deal with McDonald's that they couldn't postpone, which caused them to have to split it in two parts, being Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, which is why whenever Sonic 3 is re-released, it'll be put with Sonic and Knuckles, so instead of being Sonic 3, it'll be Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Nobody was harmed with this, but someone was harmed with the McDonald's toys. So the Tails toy was a little helicopter thing that would spin around when you pulled the string. I'm sure you can see where this is going. They ended up having to recall the toy in its last week of production, which is really funny to me since, you know, they only had 1 week left. This collaboration was really cool, actually. At the time, there were hardly any Sonic toys, so kids in the 90s getting Sonic toys with their McDonald's meals must have been a dream come true. I have really sad dreams. But also the display case made to show off the toys actually has a lot of care and work put into it. It's based off of Angel Island, the first level in the game, and I love it. It is pretty detailed too, having a little cave which Robotnik is flying out of, and it even shows those monkeys, which are the first enemy you see in the game. It also includes a sweepstakes where you can win a copy of Sonic 3. I love sweepstakes. Sometimes I'll see them on food items in the store and I'll think about buying it just to see if I could win, because I wouldn't suspect many people would sign up for these sweepstakes considering that you're always destined to never win. Are we missing out on so many giveaways because simply nobody cares enough to even bother knowing that they'll lose? But they don't know that they'll lose. You could be the only person signing up for this giveaway. I mean, as a gambler, you're only one move away from hitting it big. PSA, give all your money to mega corporations. Sorry for the tangent. These toys are kind of weird, but it's super cool that these are some of the first readily available Sonic toys. But it's not like a little kid cares that much that his Sonic toy doesn't look the best. You see, I'm 14, not 11, so that's why I care that my Sonic toys always look the best. The Sonic toy is attached to this little launcher which pushes him forward, making him look like he's going fast. The Tails toy is a little helicopter which you pull the string and it launches him in the air, making him fly. You already know how the story ends. The Robotnik toy drives around on flat surfaces and claims to not fall off edges. It didn't work very well. And lastly, the Knuckles toy was weird. Knuckles spins. I must have missed that part of Sonic 3. He glides, he pushes some buttons, he punches. I don't see him spinning anywhere. To cut them some slack, these toys are being made by people that never even got to play Sonic 3, so they probably didn't have much to work with. And to be fair, Knuckles does seem like the kind of guy that likes to spin. Don't ask me why. Also, Knuckles wasn't the last toy. I lied. There's actually 2 more toys. You could request to get the Sonic Ball, which was advertised for kids under the age of 3, probably because they knew a 3-year-old kid in the Dangerous Tails toy wouldn't mix well. But also Canada got the same ball but with Tails printed on it instead of Sonic because they never got the Flying Tails toy for some reason. I wonder why. This is such a cool promotion. I always loved the energy of the old classic Sonic promotions, and this is no different. And just the weirdness of it, like spinning Knuckles, my favorite, and Deadly Tails. For the next collaboration I want to talk about, we need to jump a few years in the future to 2001. Similar to the McDonald's promotion, forcing Sega to split Sonic 3 into 2 parts, this promotion also had changes made into the games, but this time in a much more positive sense. With the release of Sonic Adventure 2, one of the new features being heavily shown off in the marketing was the addition of rail grinding. Well, a company that makes shoes specifically for rail grinding reached out to Sega and wanted wanted Sonic to partner up with them and wear their shoes in the game since he'd be rail grinding so much. How generous of them, they wanted to keep his little feet safe. So with all this, Sonic was given his new shoes to wear for this game. I wish they kept these. I like Sonic's shoes and all, but tell me he doesn't look sick with these on? And surprisingly, people didn't throw a fit about this change like the fanbase is known to do about changes like this. Because honestly, who doesn't like these? Sadly, these shoes never stayed, quickly being retired after Sonic Adventure 2. Although oddly enough, he wears them in Sonic Pinball Party, and one little piece of art, which is the only one where you can actually see his full body, so I think this counts. In the original release of Sonic Adventure 2, you can see some billboards advertising soap shoes, which was a really cool sense of immersion. Also advertising, that makes sense. Also, just to note, in the original Dreamcast release of this game, you can see Sonic wearing his original shoes in just the very first cutscene. They weren't shown anywhere else in this game, so that just goes to show how late these were put in for development. But Sega is aware of the love for the iconic soap shoes, which is why they were included in Sonic Frontiers. If you signed up with their email alerts before the end of January 2023, you were given a DLC code for them when the game launched. I jumped onto this immediately and played the whole game with them on. These are sick. Sadly, in some cutscenes they get removed, but otherwise they're perfect. I wish they didn't make these so limited, being connected to an email subscription for a limited time. People would have loved to just download them regardless of anything, but if you missed out on them, well, I guess that's another thing to feel bad about yourself for, you f***ing loser. Imagine not getting the soap shoes in Sonic Frontiers. How do you look at yourself in the mirror every day without feeling ashamed? And if you weren't ashamed before, feel ashamed now, loser. I'm sorry to anyone I made mad there. I'm just going through a hard time. I need mood stabilizer pills. I'm sorry. Speaking of Sonic Frontiers, a cool feature in this game is the addition of different costumes for Sonic. You would think that this would be a good way to collaborate with other series or advertise for other Sega franchises. They only did Monster Hunter. Huge missed opportunity in my opinion. I really wanted to do a Nights into Dreams run with Sonic Frontiers, but on a more positive note, the game Sonic Lost World. Oh, I just lost some of you. Well anyway, some DLC for Sonic Lost World came out featuring two of Nintendo's franchises. Also Nights into Dreams, but that wasn't as cool. Yeah, Nintendo let them make DLC levels based off of their own IPs. Yeah, what a reality we live in. Donald Trump is a mugshot and Sega's making Nintendo levels. The IPs being Yoshi and Zelda. For the Yoshi level, you're essentially just playing a level from Yoshi's Island, but with Sonic. It hardly even uses Sonic's abilities at all. I cannot recall one place where you're running in the stage. But that's not a bad thing, this is still a really neat level and I had a lot of fun playing it. But for the other Nintendo levels where they truly show their creative charm, the Zelda level is so good. It takes a much less linear approach to its level design compared to the rest of Sonic Lost World, and it fits so well for a Zelda level. It seems to be primarily based off of Skyward Sword, their most recent Zelda game at the time of Sonic Lost World's release. This level features some puzzle solving akin to the Legend of Zelda games, as well as Sonic getting a little Link outfit and Link himself even making an appearance at one point. This level is so cool, my only problem being that it's not long enough. I wish they did more with this level, even by just making the exploration part longer and giving it more depth. One other weird thing is that we never get a Mario level. I think it would have been awesome to finally see a Mario and Sonic crossover that isn't in the Olympic Games. I'll get to those in a second. I think a lot of creative stuff could have been done with Sonic and the Mushroom Kingdom. Like imagine if we could run around the castle area from Mario 64 or Sonic or something. I feel like they missed a huge opportunity by not including a Mario level in this DLC. However, I do love this DLC, but it's sad that with the removal of the Wii U eShop, you're never going to be able to play these again unless you already picked them up. But the Steam release of this game removes these levels since Nintendo sucks and they're way too overprotective of their IPs. By the way, don't tell Nintendo, but people have already ported these levels to the Steam release, and you can play them for free as long as you own it. Like I had mentioned earlier, the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games sure do exist, and their existence only brings me into mental anguish about once a week nowadays. I don't really like these games. People had wanted a Mario and Sonic crossover game for forever. For the original Super Smash Bros. And Super Smash Bros. Melee, people theorized that Sonic was playable in both of them, and never shut up about this until he was added into Brawl as a playable character, and many rumors of a full game featuring both of them had continued for years. It is possible that something like this was in development at one point, but for now all we have is these Olympic Games. Listen, most of the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games are fine, but these being the long-awaited crossover games, a generic minigame collection which only stands out because Mario and Sonic are both on the cover. I've always wanted a full game where they both go into each other's world similar to the Mario plus Rabbids games, but there's a chance that we're never going to get a game like that, since every time the Olympics are going on, Sega feels the need to spit out another Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games game. But I want to save this discussion for the future, just because I'd like to take a more in-depth look at these games and not crunch them into a smaller segment. Also, I don't feel like doing it right now. Now on to Hooters. Alright, now I'm sure this is what you clicked on this video for, the Sonic and Hooters collaboration. Sonic's moved past the Cheerios and McDonald's food collaborations, now he's going to Hooters. For the release of Sonic Forces, I hate this game by the way, they decided to partner up with Hooters and release specific Sonic menu items. In 2017, they had a full presentation trying to build up hype for this game. This thing was so awesome.
Are you ready?
No. Thanks for blaring air horn sound effects while playing the music. Really made me want to buy your game. But anyway, randomly while showing some merchant announcements like a demo for the game, Hooters x Sonic Forces came on screen. And after this, some Hooters girls came on stage to show that they were truly being serious. For this promotion, they announced that they would finally be decking out Hooters with Sonic decorations and having special food served at Hooters, in answer to my prayers. The food given out looked really good actually, and had a ton of care put into it. They made Shadow's ultimate drink, yes that's the real name, actually look like Shadow. Somehow a drink at Hooters stayed more true to his character than the actual game. If it hasn't been put into your head yet, I despise this game. If you came in between 3 and 5 p.m., you could order the Sonic Special. This meal would give you a chili dog, french fries, and coleslaw, as well as a special Sonic drink. And with each order of the Sonic Special at Hooters, you would be given a special Sonic Forces themed coaster. You see, to even complete Sonic Forces, I must wash away the pain with alcohol. But with my special Sonic Forces themed coaster, I can do it in style. While Sonic got his own special to order, that doesn't mean that these were the only food items cooked up for this event, as many other characters also received their own food and drink items. The first thing to look at is the Great Sonic's Blue Boost Curry. I think the star and onion look really nice together and gives a good Sonic aesthetic, and that's all I have to say for this. Next, we got one of the best things to ever exist, simply being the Tails Noodles. You see, it didn't have to be something cool like tails flying or spinning noodles. The name of the food is simple and I love it for that. Going into my list of best things of all time. Coming up next, we have the infamous Scotch Egg of the Eggman Empire. I think it would have been funny if they decided to give the character Eggman something like wings, but of course he got an egg meal. And what else can I say besides this is awesome? Another villain that got his own meal is Infinite, and he got Infinite's apricot pudding. If Doc Brown came to me in the DeLorean and asked me where I wanted to go in time, I would say back to 2017 so I could pick up this delightful dish. What can I say? It fits his character well. And lastly, we got the custom hero pancakes. Woohoo. But these meals weren't the only thing served here, we also got drinks based off the characters featured in the game. The first drink is the already mentioned Special Sonic drink. This drink was citrus flavored. How cool. When I first got my hamster, I learned that you couldn't give them any citrus or else they would die. I feel for all the hamsters in the audience that'll never get to try the Special Sonic drink because of the citrus flavoring. Please leave your condolences in the comments below. And then we got another drink based off of Sonic being Classic Sonic Sonic Speed Soda. You know, I think this stupid and unneeded inclusion of Classic Sonic and Sonic Forces might just be justified with this one drink. And then we got the aptly titled Knuckles' Captain drink. Our next drink is Shadow's Ultimate Drink. I'm glad I didn't try this one. Since it's titled Shadow's Ultimate Drink, I have a feeling it might make all other drinks taste weak and disgusting in comparison. Meaning if I got this drink, I might never be able to go back to any other drinks and I might stop drinking water for good. Then we got Chaos's Jelly Cider. Like I said for Classic Sonic, even though this character is completely unneeded in Sonic Forces, I think the drink justifies it. And lastly, the last two drinks are based off the custom hero you make in the game. Woohoo. It's really funny to me that of all restaurants they could have chose for this awesome promotion, they chose Hooters. I would say that they could have chose a much more popular restaurant to market at, but I'm thankful we got this promotion just for this gem of an image. Well, that concludes the weird Sonic collabs / promotions I wanted to talk about today. If you think I missed any, or if you just want to talk about some of your favorite weird Sonic collabs, then feel free to list them in the comments below. Oh hey guys, I just got my hands on some of Shadow's ultimate drink. Yeah, all the ice cream and cherries went away. This thing was made in 2017. Well, anyway, I thought I'd give it a taste test just to see if it's truly that addictive. But don't worry, I got a bottle of water on hand just to make sure. Oh my god. I developed an addiction.